Okay, our next speaker is Andrew Repp, and he's from the Institute for Astronomy. And he is going to talk to us about secondary education.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Andrew Repp, and I'm an astronomy graduate student at the University of Hawaii. I volunteered to be part of this session because my path to grad school has been rather unique in that I taught math and science on the Big Island for 15 years before returning to grad school. And so I have a personal interest in education on the Big Island. And when I get my PhD this summer, I plan to return to the Big Island and continue my involvement in secondary education. So a lot of the prep work for TMT happened while I was still teaching. I came to grad school in August 2013, and by that time they already had the environmental impact statement, the no challenges, they got the conservation district use permit, and so on. But most of this work wasn't very high on my radar. I had heard about it, I knew that some people supported the project, some people opposed the project, but I really didn't have any idea what they were doing with education. And it was while I was in grad school that it continued. We had the second contested case hearing and then the final Supreme Court decision that said, yes, the opponents got due process, no, the project is not going to harm the environment, or no cultural issues that we really need to be concerned about, and so on. But it was during this time that I saw that Mauna Kea Observatories really goes out of their way to try to be good neighbors. In fact, there was a time recently when all of the observatories had been shut down because of the protests. And a crew from Keck, instead of taking a vacation, they went out with the community doing service projects, including doing some yard work at the school that I used to teach at. But I was amazed to find out how much, especially above and beyond, the TMT is committed to do in this regard. And so one of these efforts that you've already heard quite a bit about is the Think Fund. And the TMT has committed to give $1 million a year to STEM education in Hawaii. And they've already started doing it, of course, as you've heard, even though they haven't been allowed to build yet. So the bulk of these funds is administered by the Hawaii Community Foundation. They fund college scholarships, and then there are STEM learning grants that leverage outside donations with special attention to underrepresented groups. There are also direct classroom grants. There are other grants that focus on in-school and after-school programs. And they're also planning a program for children of incarcerated parents. And then there's also the Pauahi Foundation that administers a section of the funds that is specifically earmarked for Native Hawaiian students. But in particular, so far 39, you've seen this picture at least twice already in this session, 39 out of the 55 Big Island public and public charter schools have gotten STEM support through the Think Fund. And so what I'd like to do is spend the remainder of this time highlighting just 4 examples. Okay? So the first example is Kahua Pa'amua. And they're a 1.5 acre farm that's designed as a natural learning lab. And students get to apply biology and engineering and sustainable agricultural techniques in a way that connects them to the land and also fosters entrepreneurship. And as a result, 6 students have already started their own businesses as a result of participation in this program. Another example is an 8th grade anatomy class at Kona Pacific Public Charter School. And so here the teacher wanted to incorporate some hands-on learning into the class, and so he wanted to get a full-size skeleton model for the students to be able to look at and do hands-on learning with. But the funds just weren't there, and the school didn't have enough money to buy even one of these skeletons. And so he applied for a grant from the Think Fund. He was able to buy the skeleton model, and as a result, one of his students now, 8th grade, says she wants to go to med school as a result of the hands-on activities that she was able to do. The third example is from Waikea Elementary School. Here there was a 4th grade curriculum that ended with a unit on engineering, and the teacher wanted to do a classroom project, hands-on learning with 3D materials and magnetic building parts. And again, the school didn't have the funds, and the funding was provided from the Think Fund. And I think we tend to take for granted the availability of these classroom materials. But the fact is, over half of the poorest communities in the state are located on the Big Island, especially in the Puna District. And the result of classrooms not having these materials that we tend to take for granted is a lot of times people will end up seeing STEM as something theoretical. It's out there, it's for people over there, not for us. And that's tragic when that happens. And so I'll close with an example from Waikea High, and I will let one of the parents say it in his own words.
So you hear all the pros and cons, and I'll just say these ones. personal reason. My son, my number 2 son, was very involved in robotics. TMT makes a very substantial donation to STEM on the playground. Because of TMT's donation, my son basically excelled in robotics at White Hill High School. He competed very well. In fact, it set the foundation to where he is today. He's actually a junior at the University of Hawaii, majoring in computer electronics. He is taking STEM to the next level. And I actually owe a lot to TMT and a generous donation to STEM projects on Vail.
So if I believed that TMT was going to pollute the aquifer, or Native Hawaiian community monolithically opposed it, I wouldn't support it either. But those narratives are demonstrably false. And so as a result, I am excited about the support that TMT is giving to STEM on the Vail Island. And so I welcome any questions you might have.
Okay, do you have any questions? Sydney?
Mine is more a comment than a question, but I'm getting a new idea from this series of presentations. And a lot of the focus of the protesters, the Hawaiian Renaissance over the last several years, to me has been portrayed as focusing on what Hawaii was and restoring it. Hawaiian sovereignty, removing structures, not just on Mauna Kea, but throughout the state. And a lot of damage has been done, that's no doubt. But the message I'm getting from some of these presentations about these programs is that maybe the best way to build a strong Hawaiian community is not to look at the past, but to prepare people with careers for modern society, provide the jobs so that they can actually stay here and build a strong, coherent Hawaiian community.
Yes, I would strongly agree with that. And I cannot speak as a Native Hawaiian, but when I look at history, I see that their strongest leaders did that. It's forward-looking and it's basically first adopters of technology.
Another question over here?
I guess it's interesting to see that just the number of projects that TMT has funded and the impact. And I guess one of the important things to get out there is that TMT is a lot more than astronomy and it impacts a lot more than the astronomy community. So I was wondering, is there the big map that everybody showed, is there a place where we can see like a list of projects that are funded and what the results are?
Yes, I believe there is, although I don't have it at my fingertips, but I believe there are some flyers that we've got. Actually, we have someone back there who can speak to that.
I believe the website that you can find all that information on is maunakeantmt.org or InguaTMT. Is it .com?
The main site that you can find the information on is maunakeantmt.com.
.org.
And that's all, is that all one
Type
word
that
then?
in your Google search.
Mauna Kea and TMT.
So Mauna Kea and TMT, one word squished together.
Mauna Kea and TMT.org.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and let's thank our speaker again.